Injury prevention and longevity are the name of the game for the health and wellness journey. So this workout brings you a resistance band and door anchor, dumbbell, and mini band stability and core strength workout. If you don't have a resistance band or dumbbell, don't worry. Modifications will be provided with just the dumbbells, or you can substitute in body weight only. I also recommend having an open wall, a bench, chair, or table for some push-ups, okay? Now, if we've got that door anchor, I would like you to place it in place. You can also use a rail system. This is gonna come in at about hip height. You are going to pause here, get your personalized kinetic balance warm up in for more injury prevention. We listen to that tone. Our first exercise is dumbbell only. This exercise is a single dumbbell. We are going to step out to the side for a lateral lunge with the leg on the same side as that dumbbell. We push up into balance, and then we push overhead into a single-sided close press with the palm facing the head. You're coming with me in 5 seconds. So toes, knees, hips, nice straight line on that lateral lunge. Pushing through the floor, coming up into that balance, pushing overhead. Now, if balance is a struggle for you, no worries. We come into that kickstand, squeeze those glutes, push it overhead. Most important is as we push overhead, our shoulder stays down and back. We tuck the chin back, ear over the shoulder, over those hips. Notice you can rotate that palm so that it faces your head. This will help make it easier to keep the shoulders down and back. Or you can rotate that palm away from the body as you push up overhead. Now this is challenging. We're feeling it through the entire core. And if we come into that balance position, you can feel that challenge, right? We don't always push things overhead with 2 arms, and we're not always flat on the ground. So it's important to do things in balance. We're not rotating that core, glutes tight, belly button in. Oh, we're feeling that. 4 seconds on the home stretch. Try to keep count because we want to try to aim for the same number of repetitions on the opposite side, which is our next exercise. In these exercises, we have long intervals, 75 seconds. We are aiming 12 to 16 repetitions. This is endurance. High repetitions, a little bit lighter weight, so that we can teach these muscles that stabilize our body to outlast our big muscles, right? So we're teaching them to stabilize and support, and we're giving them the endurance that we need for injury prevention that outlasts and lasts longer. Good form, good posture. We step out to the side, chest stays up tall, belly button stays pulled in. We catch in balance if we can, or we use that kickstand. Wherever we're at on our journey, this exercise, this workout meets you where you are. You can come up into balance, hold as much as you can, and then tap down. Or you can tap down first, come up into balance, and then press overhead. However it works for your body today. Keep in mind, sometimes we're even stuffed up. It's the holiday season, so nasal cavities being clogged can affect our balance. 3 seconds. New exercise coming our way. 1 dumbbell. Again, we have a single-sided deadlift with that rear anchor. So we're going to come into that door anchor that's set at hip height. We're going to have that anchor facing away from us. Put it at those hips. 1 dumbbell here. We sit the hips down and back. Body stays nice and neutral here. It's like we're picking up a bag of groceries only on one side. Or I guess a better example would be a suitcase. A lot of times we only pick up a suitcase on one side. Chin is tucked, head is back. So I'm looking at the floor about 3 to 4 feet in front, And then when I stand up, it's about 6 to 8 feet. It's a big squeeze on that bum whenever I stand up. Now, if you don't have that band for that resistance, don't worry about it. Straight on, feet hip width apart, toes pointed straight ahead, that second toe pointed forward in line with the toes, and then the bony hips. One of the biggest things I see is when we only have that dumbbell on one side, we tend to sit away from it. All right? I want you to try to stay nice and even. Neutral back. So that means a small arch in that low back, gentle pull in on the belly button that supports the spine in this position. And it's a big squeeze on the bums. 3 seconds. Squeeze those glutes. Don't forget what side you did because we're going to come back to it. We're going to set that dumbbell aside. We have a single leg squat with an anchored row. So facing the door anchor this time, we're balancing on one leg in a quarter squat and we're just pulling to the base of those ribs. Nice, slow, and controlled. Chest up tall, belly button gently pulled in. As I pull, I'm only pulling until those arms stop. I don't want to pull until I squeeze those shoulder blades super tight together. I don't want to pull and rotate those arms forward. I want my chest to stay up tall, my belly button to stay pulled in. I'm going to cue us when we're halfway through. If you don't have the door anchor or the resistance band, you can come to the floor and do a quadruped with a row. So one arm at a time, pulling towards that hip. Again, a gentle pulling on that back. Not much balance and stability here, but it's hard to get balance and stability without a resistance band. We're going to stay on this same side. Don't forget this leg. Whatever leg you're balancing on, we're going to come back to it and do it in this next round on the opposite leg. Chest up tall, belly button gently pulled in. Only pulling till those arms stop. Last one. There you have it. All right, so don't forget, I performed it on my right leg. Don't forget, we're going to go back to that rear banded, single-sided deadlift. I'm going to be performing it with the dumbbell on my left hand this time. Here we go. Aiming for the same number of repetitions we did that very first round. So with or without that door anchor, we sit the hips down and back. Remembering that the chest stays up tall, core stays supported. All right, chin tucked, head back. The other arm can just come to that side, whatever's comfortable for you. Nice and controlled down. Nice push up and squeeze. The tempo for these endurance style workouts is a nice controlled 3 or 4 count down, 1 count pause, 2 count up and squeeze. So it's really that nice control down that we want to focus on. Nice and controlled. We move with purpose. And this is not about no pain, no gain. We really want to hone in and listen to our bodies. Our body, when we're in pain or it feels tight, it's talking to us. And it's our job to listen because we own this body. 3 seconds. Home stretch. Yes. Feeling those glutes work. We've done shoulders. We've done back. We've done legs. We're hitting our chest with a single leg push-up. So body weight only. You can use that table, chair, or the floor. Hands are wider than shoulder width. We lift one leg up off the floor. Nice, slow control down. Exhale as soon as we change direction. Belly button stays pulled in, bum stays tight. Now, if we have an incline, the higher up the chair, table, bench, set of stairs is, the easier it's going to be to ensure proper position. All right. Now, as we go down into this push-up, go ahead. I'm going to cue in when we switch legs. Remember, our hands are a little bit wider than chest width. We have about 30 to 45 degree angles. Go ahead and switch legs that are lifted. The chin is tucked, the head is back. So we don't want to be reaching the nose towards the ground. We want to stay tall and long. When we want to use that breathing, exhale. As soon as we change direction, nice, slow, controlled. Core stays tall and long. Oh, baby. We're feeling this in the chest, the shoulders, the arms, and even the core. There you have it. Shake it out, because boy, we're feeling it. This is our recovery round. We have a wall squat with a pullover. We want to scooch our feet away from the wall, and we're simply sitting down into a squat. Then when we stand up, we're going to go reach overhead into a pullover. So shoulders down and back as we reach those arms up overhead. Come with me and bear with me. This pullover, all right, we want the hips, shoulders, and head up against the wall. The arms stay nice and straight. As we reach overhead, we really want to squeeze the shoulders down and back away from the body. If you don't have an open wall space, you can do this as a glute bridge, up and then down. When the hips are down, that's when we reach overhead. Especially if this is new, you can reach to the tops of your thumbs. If you do this correctly, you're going to feel a stretch through the outside of that armpit, right through here. That's how it should feel whenever you're reaching overhead and keeping the shoulder down and back. We don't want it going up this way. We want it nice and wide, feeling that stretch. This is working a small muscle in our shoulder girdle that helps improve the motion of our shoulders. It helps stabilize our shoulders, protect us from injury. It will also reduce the pain that we have in the upper back and neck by improving posture, improving shoulder mobility. Shake it out, guys. That's round one. One benefit of those higher repetitions is only 2 rounds. So we're back to the top. That single-sided lateral lunge with that shoulder press. Remember, we're stepping out to the side with the same side as that dumbbell is on. Nice push up overhead. Remembering, we can either keep that palm facing the head or rotating it away. Nice and controlled, stacking those toes, knees, and hips. This is not about pain in the knee or about how deep you can go. I have a lot of mobility through my hips from my history as a gymnast and a springboard diver. So please keep that in mind. It's not about comparing you. It's about getting a proper stacking and healthy range of motion for you and what your body needs. Most important, we're feeling this in the side of that hip, both hips actually. Goodness gracious, that shoulder. Feeling it burn, embracing it. Staying tall and long, proud through the crown of that head. Just like we tell our kids to stand up tall, chin tucked, head back. 3 seconds, home stretch. Beautiful. We kept count. Doing the same number on the opposite side. Shaking out that arm because, oh baby, we're feeling it today. All right. I've been battling an upper respiratory virus through this holiday season, so my body has been feeling rather fatigued. So I'm going a little bit lighter in weight today as I listen to my body, but I'm maintaining consistency. I feel as if I have enough energy, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'm getting my workout in with you guys as my motivation and my accountability buddies, right? But I'm also listening to my body. We're strong and long. Don't forget to use that kickstand, and whatever we do to one side, we want to make sure we do to the other side. So we want to stay as even as possible on those sides. These 75 seconds really add up. And even I lose my balance. So squeeze the glute, focus on a stable object. We're down to 15 seconds, so you're on that home stretch. Remember, chin tucked, head back. Relax those shoulders down. 5 more seconds. Last one. There you have it. Beautiful work. We're switching back to that rear banded single leg deadlift. So I'm starting with my left side this time, since I performed it on my right. We're stepping out into the resistance on that band. I'm going to come to the side so you can see a little bit of change of direction here. My feet stay hip width apart, and I'm remembering gentle pulling on my belly button like I'm picking something up. Notice I do not go all the way down to the ground. This is all about your mobility again. So in order to ensure that my toes, knees, and hips stay stacking, I maintain a nice neutral spine, and I'm not rounding or sitting so deep that my hips tuck under. I stop before I feel my body go into those patterns. So my knees aren't going wide as I go down, right, to get all the way down to the bottom or in, and I'm not rounding my back. We want to stay nice and tall and long. We get the range of motion that's healthy for our bodies without falling into a pattern that could agitate. 13 seconds, keeping count because we know we're going to be coming back to this on the opposite side. 3 seconds, last one, squeeze into that band. Perfect. Leave that dumbbell. We're going to face that anchor for that single leg squat in that banded row. So last time I balanced on my right leg. This time I'm going to balance on my left leg. So I sit back into that quarter squat. My chest stays up tall. I squeeze my knee out over those toes. And I pull until my arms stop. I don't worry about squeezing those shoulder blades together. It's going to happen no matter what. I make sure my chin is tucked, my head is back. That naturally relaxes my shoulders down. Don't forget you can perform that quadruped row if you just have those dumbbells. So dumbbells in those hands, pulling to each hip. Again, nice neutral back, pushing back through those toes. Not much stability there, but gets the job done for keeping our back safe and not having the resistance bands. I love adding in the resistance bands because they are a cost-effective exercise tool that really allows us to pull in functional directions. 15 seconds, guys. Feel the burn in that hip along the outside of those armpits, those arms and shoulders on the home stretch. Yes. Shake it out. Boy, we're feeling it from not switching sides, right? We finish. We go back to that single-sided deadlift. So the anchor behind us, if you have it. This is just a really fun way to add weight and challenge our glutes without having to hold heavier weights. It's really, really effective for targeting our glutes while keeping our back safe, healthy, and strong. Nice big squeeze on that bum to stand. It's also a really good way to teach deadlifts, right? Because of that banded pull behind us, it forces us to sit those hips down and back. Remember, there should be no pain. We don't want any kind of rotation through that core. We don't want that core to tip off to the side. We want to keep everything nice and straight, supported with that gentle pull in. Nice strong squeeze in the glutes. Exhale as we push up. Thinking about that slow controlled tempo. And remember, we want to do the same number of repetitions as we did with that dumbbell on the left. We're already on that home stretch. 10 seconds. You're going to feel the heart rate rise anytime we perform a leg exercise. These are big muscles. They're going to challenge the body. Heart rate's going to come up, might get a little bit sweaty. You're going to love it and embrace it. All right, guys. Last round, single leg push-ups. I know these bad boys are tough. If you don't have a raised surface, please feel free to do these balanced on one leg. All right, so you can do these on the floor, on that knee, or on the floor, one leg lifted, or on that incline. Nice, low controlled, remembering to stay tall and long through the crown of that head, which is why I readjusted, because I felt like I was really reaching forward. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100%, and single leg push-ups aren't easy, guys. One last one. Switching legs, core nice and straight, squeezing that bum. We're not lifting too high. Belly button just stays gently pulled in. We don't want those hips or that core to dip down towards the ground. I'm feeling it, guys. It's challenging. You're not alone in that. 15 seconds. Don't reach for the floor. Stay strong and long. This is where that mindset kicks in. You can drop down to a knee if you need to. Oh, baby. Feeling the challenge. Embracing it. And know you've made it to the recovery exercise. We have that wall squat with that pullover, or that glute bridge with that pullover. 5 seconds. Feet hip width apart, farther away from the wall, hips, shoulders, and head up against the wall. And remember, we're reaching overhead, keeping the chin tucked and head back. Remember, the back of the head and shoulders are touching the wall, especially as we reach overhead. It's going to feel like a big stretch through the outside of those armpits. Nice and controlled. Squeeze the bum to stand. You can reach to the top of those thumbs, the knuckles, or all the way to those fists. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a lot harder than it looks. This is really good for shoulder mobility and posture. Don't let that back arch. I know it's easy, it's tempting to want to open up and let that back come off of. We want to keep a neutral back, gentle pull in. 15 seconds. And in this exercise, compared to the glute bridge with that pullover, is harder because we're competing with gravity here. And gravity is a lot harder than what you may have realized. We've hit your burnout. This is all about the core. We're going to grab a mini band for those knees. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. All right. We're coming down to the floor. We have 1 minute on, 10-second break, 3 exercises, 2 times. We start with a sideline leg raise. Heels, hips, and shoulders in a nice straight line. The top leg is nice and straight. Our hips are stacked. We lift that top leg up and then back into that band. If you don't have a mini band, don't worry about it. You can do this body weight only, and it's still going to be challenging. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see. My leg is literally going straight up and slightly back. My toes stay pointed straight ahead of me, and it's all coming from the side of my hip and the top of my bum. So I'm really feeling those hips engage. Gentle pulling on the belly button. What we don't want to have is to have it open up and have it be working the front of our hip or the thigh. We really want to focus in on the side of those hips. This is called the glute medius, as well as the gluteus maximus. 5 seconds. Keeping count. Perfect. We're going to rotate, switching sides. If you're having a hard time and you're wanting to open up those hips, that's what I would call a compensation, meaning that your hips, that these other muscles of our hips want to take over. So in those instances, one of the best things we can do is actually use a wall or a couch behind us. So that way we cannot rotate our hips. We slide that foot up the wall and push back with our bum. And we keep everything nice and stacked on that wall or couch, whatever is a flat surface for you to slide that heel up. But feeling that work in those hips, nice, slow, and controlled. You're going to embrace the burn. These are great. This is a great burnout for stability and strength because these hip muscles are vital for ankle, knee, hip, and low back injury prevention and stability. 5 seconds, guys. With or without the band, you're going to be feeling that burn. We finished this core burnout. The last exercise is a bird dog. So we're on our hands and knees in a quadruped. Nice neutral back. I'm going to demonstrate with a ball on my low back. My knees are hip width apart. My feet are flexed. I'm going to reach tall and long from hand to opposite foot. Nice neutral back. We have a gentle pull in on our belly button, pulling our belly button away from our pants. Now, as I lift up, I'm pushing back through my opposite foot so that my whole body stays nice and neutral. What I'm going to see most often is a shift to the side. Now, you can choose to keep that band on. Gives you a little bit of extra glute work. If this is new to you, please feel free to take the band off and just really focus on posture. Punching the hands through the floor. Chin tucked and head back. Gentle pulling on that belly button. I say it a lot because it's important. One more time through each of those exercises, your heart rate's probably come down. But those hips and the core are talking. So side lying leg raise each side one more time through. Nice, slow, controlled up. Big squeeze on that bum. Everything nice and stacked. So I cue that gentle pull in on the belly button a lot because this is what helps support our spine. We don't have ribs down low. And that's why a lot of us end up with low back pain. So that gentle pull in on our belly button engages a muscle called the transverse abdominis. And this acts like a natural girdle that helps support our lumbar or low spine. So gently pulling in our belly button in our workout helps our body to remember how to support our body day to day. 5 seconds. Oh, baby, we're feeling it. We're loving it. Are those hips talking yet? Oh, mine sure are. They're saying, I don't like this band anymore. I'm saying, we're doing it. We're almost there. One last round of this exercise. Right here, bring it on. Sometimes these smaller movements can actually be some of the hardest, right? So I generally tell people if I'm telling you lightweight, it's hard, right? You shouldn't be like, woohoo, no way. It's probably like, oh my goodness, no way, what's going to happen to me? So cue into your body though, pay attention. These exercises are great. If you're somebody with low back issues or instability, doing clams, side-lying leg raises, and bird dogs are some of the par for the course exercises in physical therapy. I'm not a physical therapist, but strengthening these muscles helps stabilize our body better day to day functionally as well as in our workouts. 3 seconds. Yes. One last round of bird dogs, guys, and we get to take this mini band off. Are you excited? I sure am. All right, focusing in on that body position. Neutral back. That means a small arch in the low back. One of the biggest mistakes I see here is we fall into a flat back, which looks like this. If you fall into a flat back, you will not be able to keep a ball on that low back. When I say gentle pull in on the belly button, we should be able to continue to breathe naturally and normally, and our back should be able to stay neutral, right? That small arch stays right where it is. If you aren't being able to breathe normally, or the back goes into a rounded position like I demonstrated, that means we're engaging the rectus abdominals, or those ab muscles. We need to practice that gentle pull in and engaging the transverse abdominis that supports the spine. 4 seconds. Beautiful core work. Take that band off, get a quick drink. We have your targeted cool down and stretch right here. So our stretch today, we're going to focus in on the hips, the low back, as well as the hamstrings. So my favorite stretch, it's in every workout video, the hip flexor stretch. We're in a lunge position, feet hip width apart, back foot flexed. We squeeze the bum, tucking those hips under. You're going to feel a stretch right through the front of the hip and thigh. We can reach up towards the ceiling and even add a small lean to the side, only if we feel an increase in stretch here. Feeling that stretch, enjoying it. I generally try to hold these for 45 seconds to a minute, or until you no longer feel a stretching sensation. So feel free to pause it if you still feel that muscle stretching. Same thing, opposite side. Feel free to use a pillow mat or blanket under that back knee. If you have any kind of knee pain here, you can also use a couch or a bench for support. So doing it from a standing position for people who have osteoarthritis of the knees and can't bear that body weight, no worries. Use a couch, a nice soft cushion surface where you're not putting all of your body weight down onto that knee. Beautiful. I'm going to go back to that original side. We're going to take that back foot. It's going to come behind that front leg. So now our knee kind of has an outward rotation on it. Same thing here. Squeeze the bum, tuck the hips under. You can reach up overhead or add that small lean. But now you're going to feel that stretch rotate towards the outside of that hip. It feels so, so good. This is a muscle that tends to get really tight. It tends to take over in things like that side lying leg raise. All right, so this can feel really, really good, and sometimes it can even lead to a lot of hip pain and discomfort. So enjoy this stretch. So for people that battle things like IT band issues, this is the muscle that we're stretching that invests into that IT band. It's called the tensor fasciae latae, or the TFL for short, so you don't have to remember muscle names, guys. But if you feel that tightness through the outside of that hip, go ahead and give this stretch a try. It feels really good. Kind of gets into places that you're like, oh, why haven't I known about this stretch before? And it can lead to a lot of knee or hip pain. So enjoy this stretch. Come back to it. Oh, it feels really good. Perfect. We're going to come down into that child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. We're going to reach those hands away from the body. Roll the shoulders down and back. Press that chest towards the floor. Nice deep breath in. Expand the belly, expand the lungs. Exhale. Press that chest towards the floor. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Now, if you're having a hard time with your knee mobility here, use a raised surface. You can still sit those hips down and back. You get a nice stretch through the outside of the armpits, potentially into the low back. You can even do this in a standing position. But we really want to get a nice stretch through that upper back, that lower back, and along those lats, along the outside of those armpits. We're going to stack one hand on top of the other. We're going to finish up here. This is the last minute. Just because we did a lot of anti-rotation, so sometimes we can get a little bit tight along the outsides of the spine, get a little extra stretch on the back of the hand that's on top. Beautiful work today, guys. Injury prevention, longevity, name of the game. Nobody starts a fitness routine with the hopes of getting hurt. So with proper programming, important muscle balance, mind-body connection with our stabilizer muscles, we can get more from our workouts in terms of longevity, as well as balance and functionality. Really, really strong. I'm proud of you for getting in another workout. Your comments and feedback are always appreciated. Keep up the great work, and thank you for letting me be part of your journey.